welcome back. Today we are talking about emergency preparedness. I have always been a little bit prepared for an emergency, but not incredibly prepared, and this year we are getting prepared. I am stocking up our emergency kits for both of our cars and for our house, and so here is what I got. If there's anything that I'm missing, let me know down below, and if there's anything that you see that you didn't think about, let me know that down below too. So let's get started. The first thing that I got was for the cars. So my thought process here is if we have an emergency with our house, theoretically our cars will be here, and so we will have all of those emergency items that we could use in our house as well. That's my thought process. The only time I think that might not work is if like something happened to the cars while we're in the house. So I'm focusing on the cars and then supplementing with the house. So I did get a backpack with supplies already in it from Amazon for each of our cars, and here's why. So I see a lot of people make their own like 72-hour kits, to-go bags with backpacks and such that they have, but we don't have those, and backpacks are pretty expensive. For the price that I could buy a backpack, I basically got the whole kit with everything in it. Plus all the things in here are shelf stable for 5 years, whereas if I were to make my own, they'd only be shelf stable for maybe a year. So I don't have to worry about this. Not delicious food, but if there's an emergency, we're not going to care. We're going to just want to eat. We also have so much food in our house that as long as we're in our house when there's an emergency, we will be good, hopefully. So let's see what's in this. So this is a 2-person 72-hour kit, and it has, there we go. It has 2 2,400 calorie food bars, 12 water pouches, 2 emergency ponchos, 2 light sticks, 4 nitrile gloves, 2 dust masks, 1 first aid kit, 1 emergency whistle, 2 survival blankets, 1 packet of tissues, 1 emergency communication plan and contacts, and then the backpack. Not terribly exciting. The main reason I was wanting this one was for the food. Now, we do have some of this stuff already in the car, like a first aid kit and such. But I know that this is not everything that you need. So something that I read online that a lot of people say you should have is a fan, because if there's an emergency and it's hot outside, you're going to want to cool off. So I got a fan for each car, and I also have batteries for these fans. You want to make sure that these aren't something that you have to plug into electricity to charge them. So each bag will get a fan and a packet of batteries. Next up for the bags, I got some, they're basically Life straws, but I don't think they're that brand. They're water filtration straws. Oh my gosh. Got it. So there's 4 of them in here. And so I was thinking each bag will get 2. And then that way, so my thought process also, let's back up a second. The reason I'm doing each of these bags for 2 is because my husband and I might be in the same car at the same time if there's an emergency. And so having enough for both of us is perfect. Next up for the cars, I got wind-up radios that have an emergency alert like sound that you can play. They can also charge your phone, which is great. It'll charge it slowly, but it will charge. And so they are hand cranked. Now I already have a hand crank radio in my car. It's a radio and flashlight. This one's also a radio and flashlight, but these days you might need your phone. So I figured these ones where you could charge your phone with it too was preferred. And so I got one of each of these. I got him a blue one and me a pink one because why not? One other thing that was really important to me was having an SOS button, because if there's a tornado or something and part of the house is down and you're trapped, you'll want to be able to alert other people by having a loud noise. Hi Milo. I have not gotten kitty cat emergency preparedness figured out yet, but that will be coming. Probably not to a video, but that will be coming to my life. And the last thing that I got for our cars is something that we probably should have had for a while. These are window breakers and seatbelt cutters, and these are the ones that Adventures with Purpose recommends. If you haven't seen them, they are definitely worth a watch. They are a channel on YouTube, and they go looking underwater for cars and people trapped in cars, and they recommend these ones. Now, the other day, I saw somebody recommending something that was much smaller, and had I known about that before buying these, I probably would have gotten that one. But I held off on buying this for a while because we don't have very much water. We basically live in a desert. The chances of me driving into water are almost impossible just based on how it is here. However, I was watching a TikTok the other day, and somebody said that first responders mention how often people are trapped in their cars for one reason or another. So if you're able to break your window and get out of your seatbelt, then you can untrap yourself from a car if you get into a car accident. So I also got one of those for each car. Now for the house, what I've done recently is I reorganized my basement. I will show you that in just a second. And now I have the tornado shelter area open, which is great. There's room for us to actually be in there. Before there wasn't really a good spot to go. And I've gotten just a few items for it. So we do have quite a bit of bottled water through our house. We have a lot of canned food. That is something that I know a lot of people who've been through emergencies say they wish they had canned food or food that they can eat quickly without having to cook it. We also do have a gas grill if we need to. I think it could be a good idea to get one of those little butane grill like stove things as well. But what I did get was I got a fan for downstairs as well, just a little one that is battery operated. I do need to get D batteries for this, but if it's really hot, we'd want a bigger fan, and these other ones are just little personal fans. And then I also got a radio for the basement because if there's an emergency, I am not going to be going to the car, like a tornado. Let's say we have a tornado warning. It says go downstairs right now. I'm not going to go to my car first to grab the emergency kit. I'm going to get that later if I need it. But having this radio is very helpful for if like cell signal goes down, power goes out. And then this one has all the same features as the other ones. It's just bigger. It has the light, it has the AM, the FM, it is crank, it also is solar, and it has the SOS. It also happens to have a compass on it, which is awesome. We do live in Colorado, so it's pretty easy to tell which direction you're facing. You just look west, and that's the mountains. And if you don't see mountains, you're probably not looking west. But anyways, oh my Milo. So these two will go downstairs. I haven't quite figured out if I need anything else downstairs other than that in the water and potentially some cat supplies. So let's go look and see what we've got going. It's a little dark down here, but here's our little nook tornado shelter area. It has foundation on 3 sides of it. This is right below our drop station. So I have a futon in here that we don't really have anything else to do with, and so this is the perfect thing. If there's ever a tornado warning, I can come down here and have somewhere to sit that's not in front of a window. Sorry it's so dark, but it's not in front of a window, right? And I also have the cat carrier here, so if there is an emergency, I can put the cats in there. I never lock the door if I have the cats in there. It's just to keep them in a safe area, but I want it unlocked. That way, if something happens, they can still get out, but I just don't want things falling on them. Hi Milo, and Milo loves this area too. So my thought is that I will put a cabinet of all of the supplies over here, which I already have. It's like a little plastic 3-drawer cabinet. I'll get that going here, add some water over here. That way if something happens and like, let's say the roof collapses, I don't need to go all the way over there for water, but we will have everything in one area and we will be prepared. Now, it's not that often that we have tornadoes. I don't think last year we even had to, well, let me get where you can see me. I don't even think we had to go downstairs for a tornado warning last year, which was impressive actually. I think every year I have to go downstairs a handful of times for a tornado warning. And when I lived at my last house, it was a little bit further east, which is where there's more tornadoes. And my house actually got not hit by a tornado, it was hit by a hailstorm. There was a tornado a few miles away, and I had to replace the siding on 2 sides of my house. So I'm definitely taking this a little bit more seriously than I used to. So just knowing that something like that can happen, it's not as likely in here. Also, I live in Colorado, and if you heard a few years ago, there was a huge fire that just took out neighborhoods of houses. So I feel like having things ready in the cars is just going to be our best bet if there happens to be something like a big fire. But let's go look in the car. I'll show you what I already have in there, and then I'll be adding all this stuff to it. Okay, it looks like I don't have anything in here, but I do. I have some gloves and I have a tarp. And those are just for when I buy dirt and such, but could come in handy. And then I do have, these aren't like heavy gloves. These are, I'm working outside type of gloves. And I do have a box just in case we buy meat. But I have this little compartment down here, and this is where I store things. I think I need to come in here and update some of these items as well. But so I have a first aid kit. I have a blanket. I have a pair of shoes. I have some toilet paper, some winter gloves, an umbrella, which honestly I never use umbrellas and they blow away here anyways, but we also have some other gloves and a hoodie, and then just some warm weather things. So on top of all of this stuff, I am going to be adding, what is that? Oh, other car mats that I've never used. Okay, so in addition to all of this, I'm going to be adding the things that we just bought. Don't forget to let me know down below what other items you think I'm missing that are very important. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd love to see you. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.